Okay, so today we're going to start with frog dissection. As we look at the frog, which I'm holding in my hand right now, we have obviously two different sides. You have the top side of the frog here. It is spotted and darkish in color. This is what we call the dorsal side. In sharks, we would have a fin or a dorsal fin. In amphibians, we will have this decoloration here. This is for camouflage for them to blend in. The ventral side is the bottom side. As we can see, it is a yellowish or lightish color. You can actually start to see some of the muscles or lines going down. That's because the circulatory system is very close to the skin. We do have hind legs. As we can see, our hind legs, we do have toes, and there is webbing between each of those. The webbing is for obvious things called swimming. Notice your back legs are much longer than your front. The front, they can use these little guys right here for grasping. And you can see there's some nodules. The discoloration are actually joints. And if you could feel those, they are very textured. They're for gripping and grabbing so they don't fall off of rocks. And so when I say how many toes do we have present, I think we can see that in the camera right here. So you can see how many toes we have present within those. As we can see, we will measure the frog that I'm holding currently right now in centimeters. And so this frog, from the tip all the way down to the bottom of the toe, is 19 centimeters. The average length for a grass frog at this age and this maturity is about 21.5 centimeters in length. We can see a few things on the head. As we start looking on the head, we're going to see on both sides a circle. This is the tympanic membrane. Unlike mammals, we do not have an external ear. This is the exact tympanic membrane. So this is what we call our eardrum, and we can see that here. If I lift this eyelid up, you can see the eye, and there is also a translucent bottom eyelid. In order for us to see that better, I'm going to take a small scissors and cut that away. This is to protect the frog's eyes as they go under water. I'm also going to cut the top eyelid away as well, so we can see a better example of the eye. Now this frog is a little dehydrated, so the eye is sunken in, which is pretty normal. The eye is full of a fluid that is very viscous, so we can actually take our scissors, leave them shut, and we can pop the eye out really nicely. The eye is held in by the optic nerve on the back side. It is very easily popped out. Perfect. I'm actually going to cut this because I have a very tough optic nerve, it looks like. There we go. And so now that is popped out. If we look at the back of the eye, we can see the optic nerve here coming off. And then if we look in here, we can see our internal portions. Now, they have a lens, and that's this hard piece that I'm pulling out. I'm struggling, it looks like, so let me take a scissor cut. Yeah, there we go. It'll pop out just like a pea. This is our little lens that can focus. If this is irregularly shaped, that's how you can get things like cataracts. You can get things like nearsighted and farsightedness, and it is very hard. It's not meant to be flexible. It is supposed to be hard, and then the rest of this is fluid. You'll see that there is a black substance in the eye. I'm going to cut mine open so you can see it a little bit better. And it's almost an iridescence with these little black dots. That's the rods and cones. This allows it to see coloration, not in color, but like dark, like black and gray, white, and then it also allows to see shape. It takes in light and allows for dilation of the eye. So our eyeball, we have seen that. The frog's skin is not slimy. It's actually quite dry. It's not producing any kind of mucus. It's quite smooth on the ventral side and even on the dorsal side. And we can see the skin is very flexible and is also almost like translucent. Well, that makes sense because they have some membranes on there and they can breathe through their skin. So let's open the mouth up. To open the mouth up, I'm actually going to use my larger pair of scissors. And I'm going to go and open, put my finger in, and cut downward on both sides, cutting the muscles of the mouth. Once I have the mouth, I should be able to open it up. We're going to see a few anatomical things here, and I'm going to try to get these nice and close and in frame. Perfect. These guys right here, these are our vomer teeth. This top plate on top is the maxillary teeth. And then we should have these two holes on both sides. Gotta get that focus. These two holes on both sides are for the internal nares. So you kind of like nasal passages. We have some tubes right here. These guys on both sides of the back of the mouth. This would be our estuarine tubes. These guys, if we look, will actually go back into the throat. Then we have what we call a glottis. Let me tilt him so we can see our glottis. It is a round ball-like structure. We can see the tongue too while I'm at that and moving this. I'm going to have to remove our tongue to be able to see our glottis and our esophagus because it's just blocking it. So I'm going to cut the tongue. The tongue will actually pop out this way. It has a nice little muscle that holds that tongue in place. And then we can see a couple things here. One, once the tongue is removed, you can see the passage in the back of the throat. This is our glottis. And then here is our epiglottis. So this allows for your esophagus right here in the back. And this is our, this is our glottis right here. And then our esophagus is this tube all the way in the back right here. And that is our mouth passage.